something I've been noticing. In EMS, we're kind of our own worst enemy. And something I've been seeing a lot in the comments section on TikTok, which is quite funny, is it's not just newer people that are struggling and that are having trouble with the way things are. It's the older generation too. And I think that there's a good bit of entitlement that cuts from both sides, that both age groups have to deal with. The older people want to be respected no matter what. They think that their way of doing things, their way of thinking about things is the gold standard, and that's just the way it is. And you have the younger people who want what they want, and they don't do a very good job of taking no for an answer. And it's just so funny to watch, because it's so high school no matter which way you look at it. It really is. You know, you got your outgoing seniors that think that all the new people need to respect them and do what they say, and then you got all the incoming freshmen who are like, hey, who the fuck are you? And it's just this funny back and forth to watch, but it's really hindering us as a profession. It's actually really making things a lot worse, because we are stuck in this conundrum where neither group likes each other, neither group wants to work with each other. They're constantly at odds, and yet they're perpetuating the same problem. Lack of emotional regulation, lack of maturity, and a strong sense of professionalism. And I'm not talking about a sense of professionalism that, oh, you have to spit polish your shoes and have your ironed Class A's on every day. No. I think you can be perfectly professional in tactical pants and a t-shirt. Obviously, you need to keep yourself looking nice, take care of your clothing, don't smell like an ashtray or like a garbage disposal. But I think that our behavior and our character is the thing that we have gotten so far away from having conversations about, and that we don't like to talk about, because we feel like being immature, being irrational, being entitled is like something we have a free pass to because of how hard our life is, our job is, and whatnot. But what I really want to talk about today is the 3 R's of staffing, and that is recruitment, retention, and regression. Now, obviously, we all know about recruitment, and that seems to be what a lot of places spend most of their time, effort, and energy on, is recruiting people. They spend all the money on advertising, on training, on uniforms, whatever. Cool, you get people in the door. But here's the thing, your most powerful recruitment tool is your current employees. And if you're not taking the time to take care of your current employees, they're not going to recruit for you. They're not going to try and bring people. They're not. And if you're not making an effort to meet their needs, to meet them where they're at, to at least engage with them in some meaningful way, then they're not gonna go the extra mile for you. Just giving somebody a paycheck and benefits is not enough to earn loyalty. We've talked about this a good bit before, but it bears worth repeating that you can think of it in the clinical sense. Think of it as you're managing a hemorrhage. Okay, if you are doing a mass blood transfusion for a patient that's actively bleeding out, but you don't stop the bleed, you're just wasting blood. You're literally pumping all these people through and just circulating them out on the other side. And you are continuing to have the same problem. You're not even really prolonging it any. You're inevitably going to make the problem worse. So, yes, we need people. We need new certs. We need people that are willing to come out and do the dirty work and handle it. We also need to keep people. So while you're addressing recruitment, while you are getting people in the door, you also need to be working on all the things you can do to keep them. Because when you focus so much on recruitment and you don't focus on retention, what you get is regression to the mean specifically. Because if people aren't being given anything to work for, and they don't feel valued, they don't feel heard, even if you pay them decently well, if you don't value them, you don't listen to them, you don't take care of their needs to some degree, then they're not going to go the extra mile. They're going to do the bare minimum both of, duty performance, but also of clinical care. And it shouldn't be that way. Unfortunately, it shouldn't be that way. And when it comes to clinical care specifically, I should say, you should be taking care of the patient. Period. The end. Take care of the patient. That is above all else when it comes to this profession. Take care of the patients, because, okay, no, not every patient's in a life-threatening dilemma, but they are more often than not. That your care of those people, whether it's genuine clinical distress or whether it's emotional distress or whatever the case may be, they deserve you to treat them appropriately. And when it comes to clinical care, treating someone appropriately means that you do everything you can clinically to address what they have going on. Now, that doesn't mean that if someone's complaining of toe pain, you give them all the pain meds in the world. No, that's not what I'm saying. But there's a standard of care that we should all be held to. And just because you're not happy where you work doesn't mean that you shouldn't hold to that same standard. No, at least not in my state. We don't take anything like a Hippocratic oath when we become EMTs and paramedics here. Maybe there's some places that do. I don't know. We don't take that oath explicitly, but I think we should. This isn't, yes, and I'm going to be the first one to say this is a job. This is a career. The EMS should not be your life. However, this is a very, healthcare in general, especially emergency medicine, is a very different kind of job. And with that comes a level of ethical responsibility, even if you don't want to say moral, at the very least ethical responsibility. So if you want to, curb your efforts on, daily duties at work or whatever, it's immature, it's annoying, but I'm not going to say it's unethical. What I am going to say is unethical is if you use those as an excuse to provide subpar treatment to your patients. That is wrong. So we need to get that understood right now, that kind of behavior needs to absolutely stop. And I'm sure there's people like, oh, I've never seen that happen. Oh, I've seen it happen, buddy. I've seen it happen. And if I've seen it happen, I guarantee you there's other people that have. Now, some people are in a situation where they have to deal with management that is not ethical or that doesn't actually care. And that does happen sometimes. Sometimes you just have to find a way to make things work. And sometimes you get put in situations where you got to play games. Unfortunately, it's just the way it is. Now, if you're going to do that, here's the only thing I'm going to say. Make sure that the battle you're fighting is actually worth it. It's one thing if you're sticking up for yourself, or say your spouse, if you happen to work at the same place together. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. But it's one thing to have something on that level versus you're just pushing back against an inconvenience or something that isn't your preference. You may not like working with, this person, that person, whatever. Or you may really want to work with somebody else. And even if you've caused problems related to that, you still push. Pick your battles. And I'll just throw this out there too. And I'm no saint. I've done some really dumb shit in my life. And to be completely transparent and honest, I've stuck my dick in plenty of crazy too. But something I've learned, and I want to pass it on, especially for the younger gentlemen in the EMS community. A simp, which I'm sure you all know what that is. A simp will do some dumb shit for crazy pussy. Just don't. Don't make that the hill that you die on, because guess what? You will die on that hill. You will. It's not going to go well for you. Don't do it. Just don't. Your career's not worth it. But anyway, there's a little life lesson to pass along. Don't do it. But anyway, we're talking about retention. Recruitment, retention, regression, all of that. Retention is actually a little bit easier than a lot of people think it is. Because we all understand that there are agencies that are on a budget that can't afford to pay us what we want, or even what we're actually worth. They're literally working with what they can. They can't afford to do stuff like that. But just like you have different love languages that people in relationships will speak together, there's ways that you can communicate and build relationships with your people, communicate value to them without having to spend much, if any, money. Here's an example. This one's easy. Let's say if you have a problem in your agency with people not closing charts on time. It happens. You know, we all get in tough spots sometimes. It's easy to go the punitive route and try to punish everybody that's, you know, not meeting the standard. Okay. But here's the thing. There's a lot of gray areas. And I think it's very easy for leadership to get stuck in the mindset of the pressure they're under, that they forget the pressure that the people are under. So here's an easy solution to something like this. It's, you know, little freebie thrown out here for everybody. If you have each shift, that each supervisor, so if you have 3 to 4, maybe more shift supervisors at your agency, if each of them comes out and says, okay, each month, whoever has the fewest, you know, charts that are past due or whatnot will win a $100 gift card. And there's a number of different ways you can do it, because let's say if you have 5 people that all, you know, have no charts overdue, okay, well, maybe you can do a raffle system or something. But I know for myself, that's motivation. You're gonna give me $100 for something like this? Cool, no problem. Yeah, I still try to do my charts in a timely manner anyway, but as we've said, sometimes stuff happens. But you know, each supervisor spending $100 here and there, even if it's of their own money, to do something like that, guess what? I'll bet you'll have a lot more success with people closing charts. Now, you can pair that with some punitive measures, and that's fine. But if it's all punitive and you don't actually give people something to work for, your retention is going to be shit. Because what's their reward? Nothing. Okay, cool. If the person that does a mediocre job gets the same attention, benefits, rewards as someone who does an excellent job, those excellent people are not going to continue being excellent. Unfortunately. That's not saying that's right or wrong. That's just the general psychology of the situation. If you remove a consistent motivation, then people are not going to be motivated. Now, does that mean that it's management's job to motivate every single person all the time, no matter what? Well, no. But incentivizing people is a good way to start addressing the retention problem. So sometimes you maybe need to give gifts like that. Sometimes you need to find a pattern of words of affirmation. Maybe you need some different awards to hand out. You can make shit up. Like if you make shit up on paper, it doesn't matter. Listen, I'll tell you. So Michelle has one of her duties at her corporate job is EMT education. Well, she has superlatives that she does for all the students, and it's fucking hilarious, and they love it. And it is just a little thing that boosts everybody, gets everybody in a happy mood, and gives them something to work for. Because, okay, sure, you have the typical valedictorian, you know, whatever, that kind of stuff, but then all the funny stuff too, that makes people feel like this is more than just a stone cold job. Makes them feel like they're more human. They have more human interaction with leadership. That's a good, healthy thing. So find ways to humanize yourself as a leader in your agency, and you will find that your people will stick around a lot more. The same is true with parenting. If all you do is, and I will be the first to admit I struggle with this, and I'm sure every parent does too. It's very easy to jump on kids when stuff's going bad and then not go out of your way to praise them when they're doing well. But that's another simple thing. Praise your people. Find ways to give them stuff. Even if it's just a $10 gift card here and there. Cool. Give them incentives. Humanize yourself with them. That doesn't mean that you fraternize with them, that you become best buds, drinking buddies, whatever. But show them that you're human, that you care, that you are capable of empathy and compassion. And that also makes the punitive actions carry more weight, because they see that you have a positive side, not just the punitive enforcer side. Anyway, I know this wasn't a super organized little chit chat. I've had a lot on my mind. There's been a lot going on, and I had a lot of random thoughts I wanted to get out on this, but this is the kind of stuff that I think we need to keep talking about. We need to find different ways to talk about this and keep this on the forefront of everybody's minds, because if we don't, then it's just gonna slip away and nothing's gonna actually change until we make some noise. So if you learned something good, share it with your friends. If you were offended, even better. You should be. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.